All right, guys, so to start off the plant tour, I have a super cool philodendron. This is a philodendron Brazil. It's not getting a ton of variation to it as far as like the yellowing of the leaves. However, it is starting to grow quite a bit, which is super cool. You can see a lot of new growth coming through up top, like through this guy. And you know, the first probably month that I had this plant, nothing. Wasn't seeing any sort of growth out of it. It is definitely a slow growing plant. So I moved it over into what we call the office, which is where I'm at right now, because there is just such good light in this room. I do have an apartment that faces west, so I don't get the early morning sun, but I get kind of blisteringly hot sun through the afternoon. So this philodendron definitely loves that. Keep it out of, you know, that direct light because you can burn its leaves. But as far as, you know, watering needs go, once a week, once every 2 weeks, I do like to kind of let it dry out just a little bit before watering. Because it does not like to be soggy, and you'd be very surprised at how well these plants do when you give them a little bit more time to dry out. I think as a new plant parent, you're like, oh my God, I have to water my plant every 2 seconds because you think that it needs that. It doesn't. It really doesn't. Like, give it a good water every 1 to 1.5 weeks, and you can call it good. A new plant, go for it. They're not super crazy hard to take care of. It just needs, you know, bright indirect light. It will tolerate low light, but again, it's tolerating the low light. It's not something that's going to be thriving in low light. But yeah, so next on my list, I have my beautiful monstera, which I actually just propagated its most mature leaves off. So I don't have any of those super cool, typical Monstera deliciosa split leaves just yet, because I'm hoping that by propagating the most mature leaves, it's going to help push some of the growth to the other leaves and give them a little boost, because these ones have kind of been in this condition for a while. Let's see if I could get you a little bit closer. Okay. So here she is. She's definitely my pride and joy. She, again, is not a very hard plant to take care of. And just look at these leaves. Like, they're pretty big, even for them not being like the most mature leaves, like compared to my palm. That's not bad. You know, it's a very pretty plant. It's definitely one that I would say could be a beginner plant. If you're gonna go for your first time plant, go for a vining plant. They're easier. Because this one definitely needs humidity. So I constantly crank a humidifier in my apartment just to make sure that plants like this one that, you know, need that humidity have it. As far as sunlight goes, bright and direct light, again, typical of that west-facing apartment. Just make sure you don't give it too much direct sunlight, or really any at all, because you will burn its leaves, and it's super sad when that happens. Also rotate your plants, guys. If you're not rotating your plants regularly, do it. They need it. They'll be a lot more full. They'll be less likely to get deformed. As far as like growing towards the light, just give them a good rotation and they'll love that. Next up on my list, got my Chinese money plant, which is so cute. Started off with 2, killed the other one, not gonna lie. This one I think does okay. I think it gets big leaves and they fall off. I think that's pretty typical for a Chinese money plant. I see people with big, massive ones that look so sturdy and strong, and I don't think I can get that here in Colorado. I might be wrong, but just because the air is so dry here, like even cranking my humidifier in this apartment, it's not insanely humid in here. Even on rainy days, it's really not that humid. But super cool plant. Get it up close. It has these really cool circular leaves. Sometimes they get these really cool like little dots and specks. I don't know if you're gonna be able to see that on camera, but really easy to take care of. I think it wasn't, other than the one I killed, this one hasn't been too bad. And again, I think it was just overwatering. Um, this is one of the first plants I did actually purchase, and I know I overwatered it to death. So just let them dry out, guys. It's not the end of the world. They're gonna live. They're gonna be okay. Right here, see if I can try and get this on camera. I have my dragon tree, which brings me a lot of joy. It was actually gifted to me from my sister, who had to have had this for at least like 5 to 10 years. There's no way that it's, me duck in here. There's no way that it was like a super new plant to her. Just ended up not sparking that much joy. It was taking too much time. So I said, hey, I'll take it. Because that's when I really was starting off with plants. And anyone knows if you offer me a plant, I'm gonna take it. That's just how it goes in my world. But I really like her. I think she's super cute. Some people get really creative and they'll do like, cause I don't know if you can tell, but the vines here are kind of wonky and all over the place. Some people will braid them. I attempted that and definitely broke off a branch, and I don't think I'll ever attempt it again. That was recently too, so I'll show you what I did as far as propagations go, because I definitely chopped up that stem in hopes of being able to propagate it and save it, which I'll be right back. Let me show you. Okay. So here are my propagations of my dragon tree. Oh, before I go too far, dragon tree, water it every 2 weeks, depending on the size. They really don't need a ton of water, guys. They do well, they'll tolerate low light. I think medium light to indirect bright light is really great for them, but they will tolerate that low light. They're super easy to take care of. I know my sister who gave it to me didn't have a ton of light in that house, and she still was able to get it to mature really well. And I love these because they have this super cool, let me get you closer, make sure you can actually see it, this really cool like red piping around the leaves, and they just get really long, beautiful leaves, guys. I don't know, some people might not love that, but I love these sort of leaves. I think they're fun. It's super fun seeing the new growth come through, the tips up top. But overall, fun plant to have. Now, back to me almost murdering it. I broke off a branch, which was super sad. So I took the bottom part of the branch. I watched a couple YouTube videos, go figure, and saw that you can actually cut these up and put them into dirt, and hopefully they will root and grow into more plants. And they'll probably be a little stumpy at first, let's be real, but eventually they'll turn into this beautiful, leafy, just gorgeous plant. I love this tree. It's really all I have to say about my dragon tree. I love it. If you have the opportunity to grab one, go for it. They're just super fun. And you can do stuff like this too if you accidentally break off a branch. So, next up on my list, I have my peperomia, which is super new to me. I have little post-it notes. I don't know if you guys ever have issues remembering when you last watered your plants, if your plants have different watering needs. I know some of my plants need watering every like 2 to 3 days. Some of them, like this dragon tree, are every like 2 weeks. I can't keep up with all of that, so post-it note, last watered peperomia 7/28, so I don't water it 2 days later. But look how cute she is, just a little baby. I love her. I think that she's super cute, and I'm really excited to see her mature. Haven't had her for a terribly long time. I actually just recently scooped her up on Facebook Marketplace by someone who's going to throw her away in a move. So I've acquired a lot of these newer plants, was through Facebook Marketplace, where people were just gonna toss them out. I can't, it hurts my heart. I can't let them be thrown out. But as far as sunlight goes, and direct bright light, again, you're gonna notice a lot of my plants love that because that's just what I have in this apartment. Wouldn't put it in low light. I had it in my living room and it was getting very droopy and sad, so I moved it into this office, which gets way better light, and it's definitely perked up a ton. But I am really excited to see it mature and see more of the color variation come through on those leaves. So if someone so happens to be purging plants for a cross-state move on Facebook and says they're gonna throw away this little boop, do you want it for free? Show up and take it. It wants your love. It does. Okay, I'll be right back and we will continue with one more potted plant in my office, and then the rest are just propagations that I'll quickly run through. Okay, be right back. Okay, so I love having golden pothos because they grow pretty quick for me, just with the light that I have in my apartment, and I'm able to propagate them quite frequently, which if you guys are interested in a video on, you know, how to propagate your plants and you'd like just a simple instructional kind of video on maybe vining plants to start, because I think those are the easiest ones to start with, let me know down in the comments down below if you want that, and I'll definitely give it my best shot, because that's definitely how I learned how to propagate my plants, was by watching videos, and I'm a very visual learner, so if you give me a sheet of written instructions, I'm gonna have a million questions, but if I'm able to watch someone literally cut their plant up and propagate it, I'm able to take that and run with it. So if you're like that too, and you are enjoying this video and you'd like to see me give that a shot, let me know in the comments below. And you know, while we're talking about that, guys, I am starting this new channel, so if you're enjoying this video so far, like this video. That would help me out a lot. You know, subscribe, ring the bell, do all the things to let you know if and when this channel continues, and if I, you know, post that next video. I'd love for you guys to be able to join me. But anyways, so golden pothos. Super fun girl. I love that spotting on the leaves, the marbling. Like, how fun is she? She's a good time. Very typical plant, definitely not a rare plant by any means. Tons of people have them. They do really well. I've seen these in offices that have like one window and it's like 6 million feet away from that window. And they still do well. So obviously the more light the better, but if you're in a low light situation or you're just looking for your first plant, go for pothos. I think I was saying pothos earlier. Pothos. I'm not a plant scientist, so just know that these are really easy to take care of and super easy to propagate. And yeah, there's not a whole lot to say about one of these plants. They're super easy. They tolerate low light. They like bright and direct light. Soil, again, just normal potting soil, water once a week. Yeah, let's run through some of my propagations really quick. I'll just do a quick little pan over and show you guys those. Okay guys, so in my window here, I have quite a few propagations going. I have more golden pothos that I have going right now. Here is that potted pothos that I just showed you. Here I actually have this really pretty purple plant. Has a few different names. I think inch plant is a pretty typical name. There's another name that I'm not going to say on here because it's kind of offensive, but if you look it up, you're definitely going to understand why I'm saying that. And I did plop a little pothos in here with it. I recently heard online that pothos have this special chemical in them that if you put them in with other plants, it helps them root faster. So I'm testing that out right now. Here I have some cuttings from my philodendron that I showed you, my first plant. Very slow growing propagation for me. It's really weird. I've never had them grow so slow. Just little teeny tiny roots coming out of the nodes. And then this guy looks a little intimidating just from the thorns, but it's one of my newest cuttings and it was actually gifted to me. So this one is called a crown of thorns and it's super cool. The one that it was actually cut off of had a bunch of blooms on it inside, and I've never had a blooming indoor plant before. So again, I threw a little pothos in there just to give it a little boost for rooting, but I like her so far. And one more little inch plant, which I don't think this cutting is gonna make it. It's looking kind of sad. So we'll kind of see there. I have one more off to the side. There's that cutting off that monstera I was talking about before with, you know, that split leaf, which is super cute. I think that's very trendy, if you will. Can a plant be trendy? I don't know. Maybe. Have only had this guy in water for a couple days now, and check it out. Already getting little roots. Let's get my camera to focus. Already getting little roots. How exciting is that? So yeah, I'm super excited to replant this guy. And there's that peperomia and the cuttings from my dragon tree. All right, guys, we are in my living room to go through more of my plants here. So to start off, I have the plant that I was talking about before, the one that is, this is the mama plant of that inch plant. Has these really beautiful purple leaves. They get really like metallic and shiny and silvery looking if you get them enough sun. Not too much sun, because again, these kind of plants don't want direct light, but really bright and direct light is great for them. They really thrive and they grow super fast. The inch plant, it's supposed to grow an inch every day, right? But super fun plant. I want to try and get a little bit of that metallic on there. Super pretty, but really easy plant to take care of. Water it once a week, once every 2 weeks, let it dry out in between waterings. It's not gonna die, but super fun plant. How cute is this little plant hanger, by the way? It's a plant I'm not going to pull off the wall, but it is the mama plant of that golden pothos, which is the one that I had a ton of cuttings of in my office. Super easy to take care of. Let it dry out in between waterings, bright and direct light, like a majority of the other ones. And she'll do great, you know, just make sure she's getting water every 1 to 2 weeks. She's getting that bright and direct light. Not that I have it super long or anything, but you want them to be long, you want them to be vined out. And yeah, not a lot to say about those, but up top here is one I can't take out because I actually made this cute little fun plant hanger. It's kind of ugly, but I made it and it's fun. How fun are the pom-poms, right? Like, who doesn't like a pom-pom? I do. If you don't, you should. If you don't know how to make them, look them up on YouTube because it's super fun. But hopefully you can see up top I've got some English ivy, which is one of my newest plants. So far so good. I've never owned any English ivy before, so it's definitely something that I'm figuring out, but so far watering it once every 1 to 2 weeks, giving it tons of indirect bright sunlight, and it's doing okay. Cool, the rest are actually down below. I have some I can actually hold up and show you really quick, and then we'll move down to the ground after that, and we'll go through the ones that I have down here because they're heavy and I don't want to carry them. This guy is just a really fun grouping of succulents. To be honest with you, like, I know this is lamb's ear, I know this is jade. If anyone wants to tell me what this one's called, oop, as I break pieces off of it, ooh, sorry. If anyone wants to let me know what this one is called in the comments down below, I would love that. But look how fun. And I like the lamb's ear a ton because it has this like fuzzy, you know, texture to it, hence lamb's ear. And this jade has gotten so tall. When I originally got this plant, it was all just kind of peeking out the top, but so far so good. This is actually the plant I always forget about, which if you want a succulent to do well, forget about it. I'm not gonna lie, I water this thing like once every 3 weeks, once a month, to give it tons and tons of light, but yeah, super easy plant. Succulents are super duper easy to take care of first. For a first time plant owner, kind of like the golden pothos in the background here. But I would say It's a good gift plant. Just tell them, hey, water it once a month, once every 3 weeks. Put it in a windowsill, make sure it's not frying. And it'll be fun. It can be your love fern with someone, which I do have a fern, which I don't totally love because I think it hates me, but we'll get there. We'll talk about it. Next up I have a really ironic plant, for me at least. I have an aloe vera plant, which my mom gifted me. One of my kitties definitely smacked a piece of it and broke it. I just don't have the heart to completely cut it off yet, so I have it just kind of dangling there. But why it's so ironic for me is I'm actually really allergic to aloe vera and it gives me hives, so it's not a practical plant for me because I'm not going to be cutting pieces off of it and, you know, using it for bug bites or sunburns or whatever it is you use aloe for. Like I said, I'm allergic to it and always happens, so I don't use it. But if you're ever here and you have a sunburn, I have a pretty healthy, good growing aloe plant. This one is very similar to the last grouping of succulents that I showed you. I water it once a month and I keep it right next to the succulents in the window because they get a ton of light right here with a little bit of direct light. So a couple more plants on the table that I can pick up and bring over to show you guys, and then we will, like I said, hop down to the floor and then, okay. So here's this guy to start off. It is from the philodendron family as well. So the philodendron was that little hanging plant I had in my office that I showed you guys first. But this one's a philodendron jungle boogie, so super fun. I love that it has the zigzag leaves. I love that it has a little bit of spotting, kind of like a golden dusting, if you will. I'm really excited because there's just a new leaf trying to pop up right here, which is super fun. It's a bit of a newer plant for me. Again, was a rescue from Facebook Marketplace, but so far so good. Easy to take care of, and you know, water it once a week, once every week and a half. And I have it in my living room, which gets like medium light. I would say it's not like bright, but it gets like medium light and it's doing pretty well. Like I said, it's popping up a new leaf and growth is a good sign. So far so good. I'll keep you guys updated if anything goes wrong. It is a new plant. Check this guy out. Like, he's fun, right? So this one is called a nerve plant. And I just love that you can see all of the veins through it. I love that red color. They're really cute because when they get thirsty, they'll droop and be super dramatic. Like, oh, I need a glass, I need a drink, right? Who doesn't? Especially at, what time is it? 5 p.m. on a Saturday. I think we all need a drink, right? But super fun plant, really easy, not super thirsty. I give it water like once a week and just a splash will do, and it'll usually perk it back up when it's looking sad. But I would say check out nerve plants, guys. They're not terribly hard to take care of, at least from my own experience. And yeah, they're just so pretty to look at. I could stare at it all day long. I won't, but I would love to. Got a little baby spider plant here, which is super fun. I love that this one is kind of like the curling variety. I have one that's not super duper curly, but this one's pretty fun to have. And spider plants are really cool because they'll eventually start putting off little baby plants like this one was at one point. Still kind of is because it's so tiny, but then you can snip them off and make new plants out of them. So it's a great plant to get if you want to give your friends plants too, because down the road I mean, not right away, it's gonna take like a year or so for it to start putting out babies, but eventually you'll be able to give your friends a little baby spider plant like this one. So fun, right? I know, love her. Okay, so I have more plants on the floor. Like I said, I'm gonna reconfigure and then I'll meet you guys back here. All right, be right back. Okay, I'm back. So thanks for joining me down on my floor. So to start off, I guess I'll start with this guy. This is that top of my dragon tree that I actually accidentally broke off. And I'm hoping, just like the other little snippets, that by trying to get it to regrow in this dirt, that it'll work. Fingers crossed that YouTube didn't lie to me. But super cute. Again, like I just love long drapey foliage like this. I think that it's super pretty and super easy to look at, and you can just kind of stare at it all day. There's that fun red piping I was kind of talking about before. Especially you can see it through here. How fun is that? I love that. Again, I mean, I already went through the care, but super easy to take care of, not a super hard plant. So hopefully saving a piece of it that I tried to murder will be easy too. We'll find out, I don't know. Next up, this is another monstera. How fun is she? I love her. This one was gifted to me by one of my good friends, Raven. Thanks girl, love this plant, doing really well since I repotted it. But I love that it has the little cutouts in here. It's just a very different plant. It's bright indirect light, water it once a week, call it good. This is my bird of paradise plant. It's definitely my most expensive plant that I've got, and the largest plant that I've got. I love, you know, the giant leaves. I love that tropical vibe. You love that it gets like the splitting in the leaves. It's just natural evolution for these plants as far as like aerodynamics go. Oh, it's a good plant, it's a pretty plant, but you have to be committed to this plant, especially in such a dry climate like in Colorado. Last but not least, over here I have my spider plant, which I've already kind of gone through spider plants, so I'm not going to get too in depth with. This one's just a more mature one, and it actually is 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, all in one pot. It's doing well, it's doing okay. It's not a lot of growth with this plant. You just, you know, water it once a week, feel the dirt. That's the thing too, you guys. When I'm saying water once a week or every 2 weeks, that's just me, and it comes to me kind of walking around my apartment and feeling the plants and touching the dirt and seeing how dry they are. That's really how you should decide. There's general rules as far as timing goes, but touch your plants, go check them out, see how they are. That's really the only way to know for sure. But lots of bright indirect light for this guy right here. Like it is, these plants are right off of this, you know, door, you guys, but I have a screen on the other side, so I feel like it somewhat filters that light out so they don't totally fry. But I've only got windows on one side of my apartment, so I'm cramming all my plants as close to them as I can get. But yeah, you guys, super easy plant. Spider plants are really easy to take care of, a really great starter plant as well. And like I said before, they sprout off little babies, so you can give them to your friends. I think that's super fun and very personal. Like, hey, I grew this plant for you, like, here you go. Don't give them too much pressure. If they kill their plant, it's not the end of the world, but it's more personable, I think, which is fun. Yeah, that's everything I've got over here. I have 4 more plants actually that I'm gonna bring you around and show you. And then we'll go ahead and wrap up this kind of long video. Hopefully you guys have made it this far. If you have, thank you, I appreciate you. And again, if you have any feedback that is kind, or suggestions for the next video, please let me know in the comments down below. If you are enjoying this video, hit like, you know, hit that like button, hit subscribe, ring the bell, do all the things that you can to get notified for my next video, because I'd really like to see you guys watch my channel progress and get more elevated and more, you know, tailored to the viewers' needs. What do you want to watch? Let me know and I'll start making those videos. But yeah, let's go check out my last 4 plants and kind of bring you around my apartment. Okay. So if you've enjoyed this video and spending some time with me around my apartment, like this video, hit subscribe, ring that bell. Let me know that I should keep putting out these sort of videos. I've had a ton of fun, you know, setting this all up and getting around my apartment and showing you guys all the fun plants that I have around here and how to take care of them. So if you want me to keep doing that, let me know. I've got a lot of great ideas too. I can do some apartment tours. I can do some tag along with me in the Denver area type vlog videos. You want to get to know, you know, my fiance, or you want to get to know some of my pets, I would love to share that with you too. But just let me know in the comments down below what you would like next. And again, I'm open to positive, nice feedback. If there's anything that you guys think I should do more or less of in my videos, please let me know. And I hope you guys are all having a great day. Thank you so much if you made it this far in the video, and thanks for coming to my little corner of the internet. I appreciate you for being here, and I appreciate you for being you. I hope you guys have a great day. All right.